This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
What I love about the way he does what he does is if you've got a challenge with your dog, he's got a behavioral solution. It's amazing. Like I'll throw things out there. And he's like, all right, yeah, this is what you need to do. We started talking about this last time we got together. We're going to pick up from that point as well. And that is when the doorbell rings and your dog goes running to the door and starts jumping around, and then somebody comes in, then they're jumping up on that person, and you're saying, oh, I'm sorry, and then you're trying to get your dog to get down. How do we handle that? What's the best way? And that's just the starting point today with the man behind Dare2Bond dog training. He is Jeff McJunkin, and he's back with us. How are you doing today?
Oh, very good, Steve. Y'all doing all right? Everything, weather getting better up there?
29 and sunny.
Oh, well, at least there's no blizzard now, though.
No, we're good with that. How about they're in Georgia, right?
Yes, sir. It's been great past week. We're in that false spring that comes before we get another cold snap in March, but it's nice, getting a lot done.
Beautiful. I saw some of the projected maps. It'll get a little bit warmer here in the New York area, but I'm also seeing way warmer for you, and it's almost like it just kind of trends south. Like really warm coming soon, like 70, upper 70s. Oh,
yeah, that's normal.
Wow.
It's the beginning of March, though. Back in 96, this is the time where it got real warm like this, and then we had 12-foot drifts of snow. They called for a half inch of snow, but all of a sudden we woke up and it was a blizzard.
Amazing. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I have to thank you for the things I've learned in the times we've gotten together. Yesterday, I was at an event. It's a friend's girlfriend opened up a surgical vet center. She does surgery and she travels from different veterinary offices. Now she opened up her own center. Amazing. And they had the police department canine dogs there. So I was talking with the officers about training, and I felt like I was up to speed on everything from the times that we've talked. So it was really, really cool getting all that insight and sharing those ideas. I want to throw one to you that I found interesting, and then we'll get on this challenge of your dog jumping on people. This officer said that he starts with treats, but then he turns it into literally a rubber ball that's on a little rope, and that is the treat. And it's no more food treats anymore. It's this, and the dog was just staring at it like it was a fresh T-bone juicy steak. Tell us about what's going on there.
Yeah, he had done what's called fading the lure. So fading those treats out so that you don't have a treat dependent dog. I think we've gone over that in the first or second time we got together.
Yeah.
So how I do that is in that first session working with a dog was like, let's say we're teaching it to sit. And so I get the dog to sit real well in the first 10 or 15 minutes using treats. And I'm treating every single time. Every time the dog does it, treat, reward, reward, reward. But then over the next few minutes, I'm going to start only rewarding half the time. And then that is going to become random. And like I've said, we turn ourselves into kind of a slot machine. Now, once the dog will verbally or by the hand signal perform the sit, then you can actually, instead of that treat, if the dog is motivated by a toy, like you were talking, the rope with the rubber ball on it, then that becomes the reward. And most dogs, like the working breeds, they love fetch. They love their chew toys, and that's why that's so effective with like German Shepherds and Belgian Mals, basically any of your pointy-eared dogs. They're very motivated by play. So having that toy, it's easy to replace that treat with the toy.
So I started thinking about that a little bit more. And yes, motivated by play, and it's a reward. You turn the treat into the ball as the reward. But I'm also thinking that when the dog gets that ball in its mouth, its instinct is to chew like it's prey. And it sends a signal, I'm thinking, to its brain, like, all right, I've got satisfaction of what I was designed for. You think that this is just me going hypothetical here, or trying to figure it out. Do you think there's something there going on there with the chew?
Well, the chewing just feels good to them. It feels good on their teeth and their gums and working their jaw muscles. It feels very good to them, and it's comforting.
Okay.
It reminds them of puppyhood, and yeah, yeah. So there's a lot of aspects to it. And when you hit on prey, that's a whole different set of drives. So like your canines, you've got defensive drive, and more like attack. I forget the name for it. I don't train canines, but I looked into it some, like where the guys wear the bite suits and all. It's Schutzen training. But the different drives are what you use, and prey drive is one of those. And the prey drive is like when they want to go after a squirrel or a rabbit, and the same drive is kicked in when you play fetch. And that's why with some dogs, we recommend that you do not play fetch, because that prey drive instinct could get reinforced so much that then when they're around smaller dogs or puppies or something who run, that prey drive can kick in and you can have a real bad incident.
Wow.
So if a trainer ever tells you your dog, I would recommend not playing fetch with, listen to him. There's a lot of reasons behind it.
So doorbell just rang. Door's running. The dog is running to the door, jumping up and down. Person's coming through the door. Now the dog is jumping up on the person. How do we get the dog not to do that anymore?
Well, that is a two-part problem. The first part is the dog has obviously not learned where its off switch is. So it's got all this energy and it's just been allowed to go crazy all the time, to just express however it wants to, by jumping, maybe even puppy nipping at the ankles and stuff, grabbing your pant leg, things like that.
Yep.
And so first you need to solve that. And once that is at least in the process of being cured, then you begin working on stopping the jumping at the door and things. Yeah. And to stop that energy, the easiest way to do it that I've found is to teach them their off switch. So this is assuming that your dog is already crate trained and loves their crate. And so you get them outside and get them excited playing a game, really worked up. And then you take them inside and put them in the crate for an hour and just teach them their off switch. When they calm down, you name it. With mine, I tell them it easy, easy. A real soft, real easy. And so when they get in the crate after being real excited and they finally calm down a little bit and sit and become good, I tell them easy, good boy, and praise them. No treats involved. I don't like giving treats through the grate, through the crate itself. But that's how I teach them their off switch. And also if you're out with them, like you're out on a walk and they just randomly suddenly get calm, then use that good, easy, good boy, good, and praise them and love them and everything, and reinforce that behavior. Teach them it's called easy, or, I don't know. Easy is the easiest thing for me to remember. And it expresses the state that you want them in. And it's a good calming sound. So I recommend using easy. Yeah.
Well, why is your dog running when the doorbell rings? They're barking. They're crazy. Obviously, they know it's a signal. Somebody's at the door. Are they doing it because and your dog could have been laying on the couch, maybe sleeping, and now the doorbell, bing, sends a signal that somebody's there. Is it part of it? Are they doing it because they want you to know that could be a predator there? It's not. It's your friend coming over. But are they doing it to warn you, or what's going on there?
It's many different things. Part of it, yes, is warning you, hey, something's going on. Somebody's here. And they don't know if it's a delivery guy or someone they know. So if they think it's someone they know, of course, they're getting excited. They get to jump and play and do with this person. And a good thing to do is to teach them when they hear that sound to go to place. So any clients I have who have a problem with the dog going bonkers, like you're sitting on the couch watching TV and the doorbell rings or someone knocks and the dog goes crazy, I teach the dog to go to place when they hear the doorbell or hear the knocking. So instead of telling them to go to place, eventually the doorbell or the knocking is the cue to go to place and be calm and sit and wait and see what happens. wait for you to tell them what to do next.
So I guess it's the safe zone, a safe spot that you should tell them. You have to establish where they should go in those situations.
Yes. Yes. Some people use the dog's bed. Some people use the crate. Some people will have them go to a certain mat in the kitchen and sit and wait there. Some into another room. I've had people that they have their dog go into the bathroom is what they want so they can close the door because they have such a problem with jumping. And we solve it that way at first by having them go in a separate room when they hear the doorbell or the knocking, or if you tell them to go to place to get control of their energy again. And then when you start to let them out, you don't let them out unless they are calm and behaving the way you want them to behave.
How do you establish that that is the place where they should go, whether it's a dog bed, bathroom, whatever?
It's you name it, place, and you lure them with the treat. So when you say go to place, I point. That's one of the few times I point. I only use pointing in training for what I call power steering, like directing the dog around me. Hey, come around this way.
Yep.
And for go to place, I use that body language, very clear body language, not something I do in conversation. So very clear, go to place, and I point to it. But you lure them there with the treat like you would any other training. So when you say go to place, you bring them there. At first, you just want them to stand there and get on whatever the target is. And that's another name for this is targeting. So like mat targeting, you may hear some other trainers call it mat targeting. Go to place is the common language though. So once you get them, you lure them over when you say that, go to place, lure them with the treat. When they get on it, praise, reward, lots of praise and reward. And you just keep repeating that process for about 15 minutes a day. And once they're solidly going and standing on it, then you want them to go and sit. Same process, get them on it. Don't treat or reward until they sit. Once they do, reward. And then after that, once that's solid, then progress to a down. So they go to the mat, they sit, and then they down, and then you give them the reward. And what you end up with, and it takes about 15, each step takes about 15 minutes a day for a week to really get it solid. Some dogs are faster than others, but on average. And what you end up with is when you say, go to place, like mine, I can say, Dexter, go to place. And he'll go right over to his bed and down he lays and he waits. He waits for me to tell him what to do next, whether it's break and he's free to go or come here and greet, whatever the issue is or whatever it is I want him to do next.
It's interesting how, Jeff, it's like in stages because you've taught your dog how to get down or how to sit. Now you establish place, and now you're going to pick up on that other command of however you command them to sit or go down in that location, right? So you'd have to establish that ahead of time.
Yeah, it's all baby steps. You were absolutely right. It's in steps. It's in phases. Yes, absolutely. Most dogs can't handle learning a complicated behavior all in one big chunk. You have to break it down into increments. Yes.
Every dog is different. Every person is different. How long could you expect? Let's just talk about place. How long do you think it would take to train a dog on average, to get that done?
Well, assuming that they already know how to sit and down, they know their basics.
Mm-hmm.
You can get them going to place in the first session. So somewhere between 15 and 30 minutes, depending on the dog. And by the end of an hour session, installing it. Once that is done, you will spend 15 minutes a day for a week getting them to go there. And that gets it real solid. Now, you can speed it up and in one session have them laying down there. But I don't think it's as reliable as compared to if you put the time in a week at a time working on going there. And then next go there and sit, and then next go there and down. I think you get much more reliable results and longer lasting results doing it that way. So about 3 weeks, but that's only 15 minutes a day. This isn't, some big training session every day or anything. Yeah.
So now we're talking about pretty major challenge that many of us have, the dog jumping on somebody when they come to visit. What are some of the other bigger challenges that we have, and what can we do for them?
I don't really know what you mean there. You mean with the jumping?
No, just in general, things that
other than that.
Yeah. Anything else that dogs do that
Leash pulling.
What is it?
Hands down. Leash pulling is hands down the biggest thing I get calls about. In fact, let me grab a leash right quick,
Sure.
and I'll give a quick lesson on how to hold that, proper leash handling, which will help solve a lot of that problem for a lot of people. I got one right inside the door here.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I experience this one with my dog too. When he wants to go in a certain direction, and I feel bad because I want him to go where he wants to go sometimes as well. If he smells something, whatever. But I guess it's got to be on your terms.
Yeah, one of my German shepherds saw me grab the leash, and he's excited.
Yep.
But so what you want to do is the leash. First off, this is to give yourself control over the leash and the dog. Hang the leash on your thumb, and this is called your anchor. This is your anchor hand. And when you do, reach around and grab it with your fist so that loop is wrapped around your thumb, and then you have it in your hand. And this gives a good solid place to hold that leash at, and you keep it at your side. And then this is your control hand. And what that does, it allows you, as you're walking your dog, you can control how much leash you're giving that dog to wander or do whatever. So you can keep them in a short leash at a heel, or you can let them wander and meander about and sniff and all that. So you have your anchor and your control. And once you have that down, then when your dog, like you said, starts to wander off over here and you don't want them to, if my dog starts to go that way, but we're wanting to go this way, I will take them the opposite direction of where they're trying to go. It's called the Premack principle. You have to do what I want to get what you want. So by doing that, the dog learns that I want to go over here, but I can't because Dad won't let me. So you turn them to go the opposite direction. And once they do well at that, I will reward them by letting them go check out what they were trying to do, what they were trying to get to. But at first, they have to do what I want first before they can do what they want. So when they try to go different directions, go the opposite direction. Teach them to stay with you. And eventually you will take them to what they wanted to do. Not the other way around. They don't take you there. You take them. And use things in the environment. If they're trying to get to a bush to sniff or something, but they're pulling to do it, use that as their reward. So like if it's in a parking lot, you got a lot of space between you of the asphalt, between you and the grassy spot they want to get to, go the opposite direction of that and then reward them by getting closer to it. And as long as they stay calm and let you lead, they follow your lead, then that grassy spot becomes the reward. That's what they want. So eventually give it to them if they behave. And when the dog starts pulling, that's the big, golly, I get so many calls about that. So when the dog starts to pull, you'll hear a lot of trainers say, stop where you're at and lock in. And that's where that way of handling the leash comes in. So you lock it in and anchor and control. And when they start to pull, you just dead stop and lock in. And that dog, you're not going to walk any further until that dog puts slack in the leash. You don't want it tense like this. You want it to begin doing this, the tension off. As soon as they let that tension off, take a step forward. Reward them with continuing to walk. If they refuse to, if they just keep pulling, then back up. If they still keep pulling, back up. You're taking them away from where they want to go. And when they let that tension off the leash, that's what you're going for. Ultimately, you want a good J. You want there to be a J in the leash. So the leash should be next to you, and it should hoop down like that and come up to you in your hand. That's the goal. And once you got that, you've got a dog that will just walk perfect.
Jeff, how do you make that determination where it's okay for my dog to start sniffing? You're walking along, he's following you, it's all good, and then he wants to go in a direction. Now you could go in that direction. You got a little bit of extra time. How do you decide whether it's okay?
Well, that's just up to you. You know,
Okay.
if you have a well-behaved dog that's walking on leash well, and they kind of give you the hint that hey, I'd like to go check this out. If you want to let them, that's fine, as long as they're not pulling. Don't let them tighten up that leash and pull you there. But they'll let you know. They'll sniff, and you'll see them if you're paying attention that hey, they kind of want to check this out. And I'll let them.
Sure.
You have two different forms of walking. There's a walk with purpose, which is I'm going from point A to B. I'm walking there. And then you have your other walk that you do, and most people don't even realize they're doing this, where you're just kind of walking around looking. So I call that meandering. You're just kind of meandering about or window shopping. You're just kind of checking things out, walking, and you got your dog next to you. And they pick up on which walk you're doing, even if you don't realize you're doing it.
Wow.
If you're going to the store and you're going to the door, you will walk different. Your body language is totally different. And you'll walk straight and go right there. And your dog knows this. And that's when you don't allow anything going on. But if you're just walking, kind of looking around, just on a nature trail or whatever, then your dog it realizes, hey, they're not going straight here. We're just kind of looking around, so I can sniff and look around as we walk, So keep your expectations where they should be. So, your dog knows what to expect.
Interesting that you said that your dog knows the type of walk they're on. I never even considered that. Your dogs,
Yeah.
They're all thinking, they're all processing everything there. It's not, we don't, we don't realize what's going on.
No, well, we use language to communicate. They use body language. So they're watching our bodies, and we don't realize how we're moving until you start really paying attention to it, which as a dog trainer, you have to pay attention to your body language and theirs. That's a huge chunk of it. And so once you have a handle on that, that's why when you have a real bad problem with your dog pulling or misbehaving, and you go to a dog trainer, and all of a sudden your dog behaves perfectly with them, it's because they're paying attention to all these little nuances. They know if I do this, dogs pick up on my body language and they respond this way. Where when you don't use that, you don't have those tools in your tool belt or in your toolbox, which is no one's fault. You just don't know, because it's not what you do for a living.
So how about this situation? You're walking your dog and you're meandering. You've got some time. Mm-hmm. Now, your dog wants to go in this direction. You think for a sec, I guess so. There's nothing bad over there. Let him sniff around, whatever. But now they pull the leash tight. Should you correct that and then allow them to go to where they want to go? Or should you shut it down? You're not going that way. I'm going to show you something. We're going the other way.
If they pull like just a slight pull, like, hey, I just kind of got ahead of you, I'll stop and make them let the tension off the leash and then continue. But if they pull like they're going after something, like they're trying to run off after something, turn around, go the other way.
Okay.
Yeah, immediately change directions. Yeah. And that stops that behavior for a vast majority of dogs. So that's how I would handle it. It depends on how they're pulling, what the intent behind the pull is.
You really got to be intentional. If it warrants it, you got to take action. Like you said, go the other way. Even though you're fine with them going that way, that's a training moment, I guess. That what just came up.
Yeah, yeah. It still has to come back to you're letting them go there, not they're leading you there. You lead them. You're in control. You're the leader. You're somebody, another trainer, I don't want to drop names, but big famous trainer he called it the pack master. You're the pack master. You're the alpha,
Yep.
Which, interesting thing about that whole alpha thing, the alpha dog, that changes situation to situation. So like if you have a pack of 5 dogs, when they're scavenging for food, like say feral dogs, when they're a bunch of strays. So when they're scavenging for food, this dog might be the alpha. But when they get in a situation where there might be a conflict, this other dog becomes the alpha. They will change leadership role for who is best suited to the situation. It's pretty neat.
Are you always the alpha?
With my dogs, yes. I'm top dog. And generally, my Dexter, my oldest German Shepherd, he's next. And then comes Loki, the little Jack Russell. He's constantly trying to take the alpha spot from Dexter. He does chin over his shoulders. He does the whole standing tall, height seeking. He always wants to be up over Dexter to get that dominance over him. Yeah. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny because the look on Dexter's face, he'll do that German Shepherd sideways head thing, look at him like, really? You think you can do that?
I heard this. When your dog does that, like you say something and they turn their head, it's a sign of intelligence, like higher intelligence than the average dog. That's what I heard.
Yeah. It's kind of them they kind of know what you said, but they kind of trying to figure it out, and they'll turn their head sideways like that. Yeah. That's what I've read at least.
Always learn a lot with you, Jeff. Fantastic. And the amazing thing is you can do this virtually for anybody, anywhere. How do we find you?
Well, I'm about to do the grand reopening, and I'm going to be doing the Zoom lessons and in-person and board and train. I've redone my entire business model over these past couple of months. But how you find me is at Dare2Bond.com. So it's Dare2Bond.com. And I'm updating the website too, all the pricing and the packages I offer. And then the phone number is 762-677-8636. And that's text or phone. And the email is jeff@Dare2Bond.com.
Thank you for being here today. Learned a lot. I'm going to go in place myself right now. And good luck. Good luck with the deck, and we'll catch up again sometime soon.
All right. Thank you, sir.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.